For centuries, there's been this one figure in the Bible that has confused and fascinated people more than almost any other. Mystery Babylon. It's a vision that has launched 1,000 theories, and today we're going to decode it.
I mean, just listen to that. The author, John, paints this absolutely unforgettable picture, a name of mystery, a mother of prostitutes and abominations. Wow, this is not subtle stuff. It's vivid, it's strange, and it's designed to make you stop and say, what on earth is going on here? And people have been scratching their heads about it for 2,000 years.
So that's our big question today. What does this bizarre vision actually mean? Is this a real city somewhere? A future empire we haven't seen yet? Or is it a code for something else entirely? We're going to unpack this ancient puzzle piece by piece, and I think the answer is going to surprise you.
All right, so let's set the scene. The vision in Revelation 17 is just wild. You've got this woman, a great prostitute, decked out in luxury, and she's drunk on the blood of God's people. And get this, she's not just walking around. She's riding on the back of a terrifying scarlet beast that has 7 heads and 10 horns. It's a picture of pure cosmic chaos. Okay, so the very first, most important clue to cracking this code is that we have to stop thinking about a dot on a map. John is not giving us a geography lesson here. He's using the name Babylon as a symbol for something way bigger, a massive global system that stands in total opposition to God.
So if it's a system, what system is he talking about? Well, for John's original audience, this wasn't really a huge mystery. Babylon was a pretty common code word. Think about it. The ancient Babylonian Empire destroyed Jerusalem and exiled God's people. So, what was the dominant, brutal empire of their day? It was Rome. Babylon was the cipher for Rome.
But here's where it gets really fascinating. Rome is just the current version of this evil system. The spiritual rebellion John is describing, its roots go way, way deeper than the Roman Empire, all the way back to the very beginning of the nations, to that story of rebellion at the Tower of Babel in the book of Genesis.
Now, to really unlock what John is getting at, we need a kind of master key. And that key isn't actually found in the book of Revelation. It's in a foundational Old Testament idea that scholars call the Deuteronomy 32 worldview. This is the lens that makes the whole crazy picture snap into focus.
So, what is this worldview? Well, the idea is this. After humanity's united rebellion at the Tower of Babel, God judged them by scattering them. But he also did something else. He basically disinherited them, handing them over to the authority of lesser spiritual beings. You might call them fallen sons of God. And this single act created a world full of nations governed by hostile spiritual powers. That is the corrupt system John calls Babylon.
And this shows you the consequences, right? This divine divorce at Babel led directly to a world where the nations were ruled by hostile spiritual powers. It's why idolatry, which the Bible calls spiritual adultery, became the default setting for humanity. It's why injustice and chaos seem to reign. This is an organized spiritual system set up in direct opposition to God and his plan.
Okay, so now we have the master key, right? This Deuteronomy 32 worldview. Let's go back to that bizarre vision from the beginning. Because all of a sudden, those strange, symbolic puzzle pieces start to snap perfectly into place.
Let's just break it down. The prostitute, that's not a literal person. She is the seductive system of idolatry itself, the one that lures people away from the one true God. The many waters she's sitting on, well, Revelation actually tells us what that means. It says they are peoples, multitudes, and nations. In other words, the disinherited nations of the earth. The scarlet beast she's riding, that's the corrupt political power, Rome in John's day, that gives this spiritual system its muscle. And her being drunk on blood, that symbolizes the brutal persecution of God's faithful people by this exact system. You see, it all just fits. Now, you might have heard another theory, that maybe Babylon is a symbol for an unfaithful Jerusalem. It's a common idea, but when you look at the text through this worldview, that interpretation, it just doesn't hold up.
And here's the crucial difference. In the Old Testament, when Jerusalem is unfaithful, she's always portrayed as the one who gets seduced. She's like an unfaithful wife who gets lured away by the gods of other nations. But Babylon, she's the exact opposite. She is the seducer. She's the engine of idolatry that infects all the other nations. One is a victim of the system, the other is the system. That's a huge difference.
And the evidence just keeps stacking up. I mean, the text explicitly calls her Babylon, not Jerusalem. She's described as sitting on 7 hills, which was a famous, well-known nickname for Rome. The text says she has dominion over the kings of the earth, something Jerusalem never came close to having. And the persecution she carries out is on a global, imperial scale, which fits the Roman Empire perfectly, not some local authorities.
So why does John spend so much time and use such vivid imagery to describe the fall of this great system of chaos? What's the ultimate point here? It's not just about fire and brimstone, believe it or not. It's actually about preparation.
You see, the fall of Babylon isn't just about God finally punishing his enemies, it's about cosmic purification. It's about God cleansing the entire world of this corrupt, rebellious spiritual system that's been in place since Babel to make way for something totally new and something much, much better.
And this reveals this incredible, grand three-step plan. Step 1, annihilate the chaos. Completely eliminate that corrupt spiritual system. Step 2, reclaim the earth. Wipe the slate clean of that system's toxic influence. And step 3, make way for the king, to prepare the entire globe to become what you could call a new Eden, a holy, sacred space that's finally fit for the return of its true king.
And that kind of leaves us with a final, really powerful thought to chew on. What if the book of Revelation, with all of its terrifying and bizarre imagery, isn't ultimately a story about destruction? What if it's actually about the complete and total restoration of our world, about cleansing it of an ancient evil to finally make it the home that God always intended it to be?